is Ovi Galvan, and I'm the Dean of Student Services at Lone Star College North Harris. Thank you for joining us today. So for those of you that maybe haven't been around or haven't seen any of our previous videos, we like to do virtual question and answer videos. We usually take questions that our students have submitted to us about different issues, different concerns that they're experiencing, especially obviously with everything that's been going on that's COVID-19 related. So we hope you're doing well. We hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. And we wanted to make sure to touch base with you one more time just before the 4th of July holiday to kind of provide you with some updates about what's been going on at Lone Star North Harris and some of the different things that we've had going on for our students. Now, I do want to be honest with you and transparent and let you know that this Q&A is going to be a little different. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that we took into account and really shared with everyone the different things that we're doing for student engagement, right? We've been getting a lot of questions from students about, well, now that the campus is closed, do you all still have clubs? Do you still have any kind of virtual events? Is there ways that I can get help with different things that aren't really related to registration and things of that nature? And so that we definitely do. And so we wanted to highlight some of that. But one of the things I do obviously want to still share is different items for admissions, for enrollment, and things of that nature. So the first few questions I'm going to take are going to be related to that, kind of a rehash of what we shared in the past. And then we'll go ahead and kind of go into the really meat and potatoes of the Q&A for student engagement. So I'm going to start off by introducing our different panelists. So for today, we have from our Student Life Center, we have Ms. Kelsey Jackson. From our CAS lab and the lead or head, how would you say it? Maybe the queen of our lions out there, we have Ms. Christina Raymond.
So I like to refer to myself as the CEO, and by CEO, I mean Chief Entertainment Officer.
Ah, I love it. Thank you, Ms. Raymond. And then newly to our division, to our college, who just kind of joined us a while ago, actually, as COVID was really happening, a new colleague of ours, Ms. Brittany Lewis, who is now serving as our coordinator over the Women's Resource Center. So, and we've been doing our best to work with her in terms of getting her acclimated to what's going on. Brittany, you've done a fantastic job. I can't even imagine walking into this position or this job and COVID-19 happens and you have to go remote, and how it, especially with the Women's Resource Center, how it really changes your role and the things that have been going on. So thank you for that. We're looking forward to your updates, and thank you for everything that you're doing to help our students out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, team. So I'm going to hop right into our questions. So again, like I said, the first three were repeats of previous virtual Q&As, but I do think that they're important. So the first question is, when will our campus reopen? And will this be the same time students are allowed to be back on campus? Additionally, our fall course is going to be offered online only now. So the first thing I want to share on that is that as of right now, we do not have a return to campus date for students. We are operating right now with minimal students on campus. And what I mean by that is we do have some of our workforce students who came on campus. They were doing automotive, welding, machining, electrical, who were brought in on a very limited basis and were allowed to kind of finish up their spring semester. And so those students were contacted beforehand. They were told what they would need to do to come on campus. But that's all we are doing right now on campus. Right now, we don't have any advisors on campus, financial aid's not on campus, business office is not on campus. So we are only doing the limited workforce classes on campus. Now, we have been talking and there's been conversations about a return to campus, but I will be honest with you that as of right now, we do not have a date for return to campus. And I think one of the things that we've been seeing out there is that, this COVID situation, as it has from the beginning, has been evolving, it's been developing, right? And sometimes things look good, sometimes they look bad. We have different orders from our county judge, our mayor, the governor. And so these are all things that we have to take into account when deciding whether or not we want to open and how that will happen. But I do want to share that as of right now, we do not have a date for returning to campus. As soon as we do, however, we'll have that updated on our website, so make sure that you check back frequently. Will courses be offered online only? So as of right now, and we made this decision probably about a month or two ago now, the classes for the fall will be 50% online, 25% hybrid, and 25% in person. We've gotten some questions from students asking us, what does hybrid mean? Hybrid means that it's usually a combination of an in-person component and an online component. So sometimes, and it varies classes by classes, but sometimes for some courses, if they were, let's say, Monday and Wednesday classes, then usually the Monday would be in person and the Wednesday would be do work online only. So it just varies, but that's the setup right now for the fall. 50% online, 25% hybrid, 25% in person. The second question is, I want to enroll for classes for summer and fall, but need help identifying what I need to take next. How can I reach an advisor? Can I set up a phone call or virtual video call for a meeting with an advisor, or is everything only being done via email? No. So you can definitely reach out to our advisors, and when you do that, you'll be able to determine whether you want to set up a phone call with them or a video conference meeting with them. I've done those with multiple students already. Some of them are comfortable doing a phone call. Some of them are okay with emails. Some of them want to have a video conversation, and that's perfectly fine. So the email you want to reach out to is nh-advisor@lonestar.edu. Again, that's nh-advisor@lonestar.edu. We're going to work with our college relations department to get that email account down in our comments. And so once you email them, let them know, hey, I'm a student at North Harris. I need help with identifying my next classes. You'll be assigned to an advisor who will then reach out to you. And when this advisor reaches out to you, you go ahead and determine if you want to meet with them via phone call or if you want to have a virtual video meeting with them. So we're definitely set up to help you out in multiple ways. And the last question that we've been seeing a lot of and kind of a lot of repeats, especially as we get closer to the fall, is I am a new student and I have to turn in items for admission, such as high school transcripts, my bacterial meningitis shot records. I have to attend a new student orientation. I have to do TSI testing. How can I do this now that the campus is closed? So I do want to share that even though the campus is closed, we are still up and running and we're here to help you. So if you have any admissions items that you need to submit, whether they be a high school transcript, whether they be your bacterial meningitis shot record, anything in regards to a parental consent form, you can send those over to nh-studentservices@lonestar.edu. Again, that's nh-studentservices@lonestar.edu. And the goal here is that we actually have our folks, our student services folks, set up and working on all these different admission items, from transcripts that are coming in to different ACT and SAT scores that are coming in. They're helping our students to make sure that they knock out what they need to take care of in order to be in full compliance and be admitted and ready to take classes for the fall semester. So you can definitely still do that. Some questions relating to TSI are also a little tricky, but I want to see if I can kind of share some information on that. We are offering the TSI test right now remotely, right, online, essentially. And so what we're telling students is to reach out to one of our advisors first to identify if they need to take the test. That's right, I said if, right? Because we do have a almost, I don't want to call it a loophole, but the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board has allowed for Lone Star College North Harris to use high school transcripts to determine if a student can be what we call directly enrolled into college level classes. Basically, that means that we look at your high school transcript, we look at the classes you took for English, for math, we look at the grades that you made, and as long as those transcripts are more than 5 years old and you have met that certain criteria, then we can do a direct enrollment into college level classes. Again, some students, however, don't want to do that, and they say, well, what can I do if I want to do the TSI test? And if you want to do the TSI test, you reach out to an advisor, you let them know, hey, I want to go ahead and take the TSI test. Can I get a TSI referral form? They'll give you a referral form. You then go ahead and go online and pay for your test. It's $10 per section, so 10 for reading, 10 for writing, 10 for math. If you take all three of them, they actually knock off $1, so it's $29 if you do all three of them. And then you reach out to the assessment center. We create a voucher for you, which is essentially an email link that goes ahead and tells the examinee that, hey, this student paid for their test, they're ready to take their test. You then follow that voucher link to set up an appointment and you take your test. As soon as you knock that test out, we go ahead and get the scores back for you and use those to enroll you. Now, one of the things I do want to also be very clear on is that there is an additional $20 proctoring fee with examining. And I want to be clear that that's not a Lone Star College fee, it's not a North Harris fee. It's a fee that examining charges, because essentially what's going to happen is you're going to be taking your test in front of your computer, just the way I am right here, and they're going to have a proctor virtually watching you, right? And so because of that, they have to have that $20 additional fee on there. So that we do have a setup for TSI testing, and I do want to share that with all of you because I know that there are different conversations about whether or not TSI is still being required, whether it's being waived. Those are the two options that we have right now. If your high school transcripts are older than 5 years, you will have to go to TSI testing route. So, okay, and I think those are all the ones that we had. They were from the previous virtual Q&As, but I guess, like I said, I do think they were very important questions. So now that we've kind of addressed some of the internal items about admissions, enrollment, and things of that nature, I do want to get into what I mentioned for this Q&A was really the student engagement portion, right? One of the things that I love about being the Dean of Students is seeing all the different student clubs that we have, right? So we have TRIO Educational Talent Search, we have TRIO Upward Bound, we have Student Support Services, we have Student Life, we have the CAS Lab, the Women's Resource Center, we have the Food Pantry. We have so many different programs and departments that are dedicated to helping students outside of the classroom, right? That really help and engage you, right? Like when I was a student, I remember being in SGA, I remember being involved in the chess club. I know we were off the road, the off-road club where we went out hiking and camping and whatnot. And I really loved it. And as a Dean of Students, I believe that that kind of exposure and that kind of involvement helps develop students, right? It helps develop you just as importantly and just as much as your own internal classroom experience does. And so I wanted to show you all, and I brought in our experts today to really talk to you about the different things that they're doing to help engage you outside of the classroom. So the first question I want to ask our panel here is, Ms. Christina, you'll be the first one to be asked this. As we are currently remotely set up, many of our students think that we do not have events of a social nature taking place right now. However, this is not the case. Can you please tell us about various events happening in your respective area that are not directly tied to academic courses, but rather social, transfer, or leadership or peer development type of activity?
Absolutely, sir. Would be happy to. So once again, my name is Christina Raymond, and one of the areas I oversee is what's referred to as the CAS Lab. And for those who aren't familiar, CAS stands for Career and Successful Transfer. So we are your go-to for, again, pretty much anything related to career and transfer. As such, we, over the course of the last 2 months, have held such virtual events as general as well as university-specific transfer information sessions. Some of the universities we have hosted thus far include UT San Antonio, University of Houston, Texas A&M University, as well as University of Houston downtown. Now, we'll continue to host area universities in the coming months. We've also connected with students virtually through what we call CAS Lab Convos. So the CAS Lab Convos are an opportunity for students to not only connect with us, but with their peers on various topics that may be on their minds, particularly as we all continue to practice physical distancing. So we encourage one and all to, again, please connect with us to continue to develop and sustain that sense of community during this time.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Ms. Brittany, same question for you from, I know as our coordinator with the Women's Resource Center, maybe some examples or anything that you all have been doing in terms of social media or just kind of, leadership development to kind of help get our students engaged and involved in what's going on today?
Sure, absolutely. So we do weekly and regular social media posts and updates with the most up-to-date current events that's going on with us. Pretty soon, we're going to have a collaboration with Student Services to stream a movie more focused on social justice issues. And after that, a quick discussion to talk about what's going on. And upcoming in the fall semester, we'll have more of those types of chats. Also some maybe less serious talks, maybe like some bingos or some painting, something to get your mind off of things that are going on right now, because we're in this for the long haul. So I feel like we need to stick together and have that sense of family and unity still continuing on, even though we're online based mainly.
Yeah, I know that Christina and I both took that deep breath when we heard "in it for the long haul," because it certainly feels that way. And I know that this remote setup is not, I mean, it's, we as professionals challenge and struggle with it. And I know that our students just the same, if not more so, are negatively impacted, right? And so we want to make sure as professionals that we do our best to let them know that we're here for them and give them the resources they need to really not put their lives and their educational goals on hold right now, but to do the best that they can with what we're dealing with and to move forward. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Brittany. Ms. Kelsey, how about some of the exciting events you all are hosting on Student Life?
Yeah, so I think that was one of the biggest things whenever all this was happening is like, okay, we had to cancel all of our in-person spring events, which meant we had to cancel our beloved crawfish boil and Cajun Fest and all these sorts of things that we were looking forward to for the whole year. And so instead of feeling defeated, what we did is we turned that around and said, how can we use these virtual platforms, these social media tools that we're so familiar with in our day-to-day lives to really reach and connect with students and set up things that they can participate in. So we revamped our whole spring calendar, and then that didn't stop with summer. So we are at least once a week having an event, whether that's something that students have to attend in real time in a sense of be at this place at this time, or something passive, a contest that they can submit an entry to. We're looking at different ways to engage students across different platforms too. So not only having everything on Zoom or WebEx, but having events through social media, through Instagram. And so not only are we trying to still create fun and engaging opportunities that are different, but using different ways to connect with students. And so that's kind of what we've been doing. Yeah, just trying to maintain that sense of, events, that fun, that, that balance to the classroom piece that our office really does. And while we were still in session with classes in the spring, we were hosting, we were continuing to SGA meetings, our leadership events, our leadership workshop program series, and that will continue in the fall as well. And so SGA is actually meeting this summer every other week to kind of discuss plans for the fall and things like that. So we were adapting to the current situation, but still being able to host those things and stand on those values that our office has. So it's been really fun.
Oh, good. Well, good. I know that I joined, and I think it was maybe a week into this whole COVID situation where you did a leadership development or leadership retreat online. And I loved it because I ended up joining in with the group that did the exercise on the little bird, and you find out what kind of bird you were. Some were owls, and yeah. And so I remember doing that, and it was really cool because it was just online like this, but you could read all the different comments from the students, like, oh, I never thought I would have been like that, or I didn't think my personality matched up to that. So it was just interesting to see them still engaged and involved, virtually.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. And it's definitely something where we know that need is still there. And so that's why we want to meet students' need by providing these things outside of your academics, because we know that balance is important. And I'm sure Christina and Brittany agree, like we need that balance in life. And so to be able to provide those outlets is really cool. And I'm glad that we're continuing to do that.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Christina, I have a question for you next. Let's see here. I'm a student that is getting ready to graduate and need help creating and updating my resume so that I can begin looking for a job. Is this something that the college is still helping me with? And do I need to wait until the college is open, or can I get help with this now?
Absolutely, Ovi. And to answer your question, there is no need to wait. So our CAS Lab career advisors are standing by right now to take your orders. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not kidding. So, but they are available absolutely to meet with students virtually, as we've mentioned before, via Zoom or WebEx, as well as through email, by phone, to assist with resume writing and resume development. We'll ask that students email our department email address, which is nh-castlab@lonestar.edu, to request assistance with resumes. We also have a YouTube channel, LSC-NH CAS Lab, which actually includes short videos on resume writing, among other things, to get students started on that process. So again, like Kelsey and others, Brittany have mentioned previously, in addition to hosting virtual events, in addition to reaching out by email, by phone, we've got, of course, our YouTube channel as well as Instagram, which I'll get to momentarily. But that's it for now. Thank you.
And how much do you charge for this resume help?
Oh, great question, Ovi. For our students and actually the community that we serve, it's absolutely free. So it's a bargain deal. We've got some fabulous fabulous career advisors, very helpful. And so I love them to death, and you will too. So absolutely take advantage of the resources that we have to offer. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Kelsey, we have a student life question. Is student life planning events for the summer, such as summer 2 and the fall of 2020? Or will this not be happening since campus is not yet open?
Yeah, so I felt, sorry, I overstepped to the last question. I answered
No.
this, but I just want to talk a little bit more. So yes, we are planning events. We have been working together with other systems, student life managers and departments, to try to see if there's a way to maybe create bigger events with that we can include all Lone Star students. But with North Harris, we're maintaining that that structure of like at least once a week we're doing something, whether it's joining us for online bingo, trivia, or enter this contest, or hey, sign up for an emoji pillow and we'll send it to your house. We're trying to look at different ways to engage students, when they're available. And so a lot of our programs will probably happen mid-afternoon. I think the easiest way to see what's going on with us, since we are kind of using so many different platforms, definitely try to follow us where you visit social media. So Instagram, if you're an Instagrammer, like we have an Instagram. If you are on TikTok, we have a TikTok. There's not very much on there, but when we do start creating those videos, we will have stuff on there. Facebook, website, we are on Discord. If there's a social media platform, we're probably on it. So follow us where you're at and you will find our information. We also set up a D2L community recently, where we are posting all of our events and stuff as well. And so your D2L is where you're taking your online classes already. So if you want to connect with us on there, you can just be added to our community group. We are in the process of updating our website. So if you, to reflect our virtual programming efforts and things like that. But if you are interested in joining the D2L community, we do have to add you in. There's not like a way that you can manually do it yourself. So just email us. The email should be included. If not, it's you can just email my Lone Star email, which is kelsey.jackson@lonestar.edu, or the student life email should be in the description. I think Joe is going to add it post our conversation. So connect with us through email if you want to be added to that. But yes, we are continuing to look at fall programming, real-time events where you can participate at your own time. And with that, we're not just going to continue the events. We're continuing our leadership programs. We're having a fall leadership series that'll kind of be like a cohort model. Like every other week, we'll meet and discuss leadership topics, everything from everyday leadership to how do you lead people? How do you create vision? How do you, figure out what your own vision is? And so really going into that. And it's not just leadership for like student officers or people in leadership roles, it's for everyone. And then our clubs and organizations, they're being encouraged to still, participate in the fall and create online virtual opportunities for students. And so I think we're going to do it the third week of classes. So the first real week in September will be Involvement Week. And so we're going to highlight all the different clubs and organizations that are going to be virtual in the fall. How do you connect with them? What do they have to offer? Our anime and gaming club has been meeting, and they've been doing Dungeons and Dragons every Friday and playing video games with each other. And I mean, it's really fun that clubs are adapting as well. And so organizations will still be around for students, and there's ways to create new organizations. So if there's a need that needs to be met by a club and creating that community, that space, talk to us. We can create that and kind of work through that process virtually.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Brittany, I know, having been a member of our community for a while now, that the Women's Resource Center is a very important center and service to our community members. I know that it's visited both by students and patrons, members of our community who come in and just reach out for different resources and support. Actually, just earlier today, right, we had a member reach out to us interested in making a donation, helping out with any kind of clothing drive. So I think that's just indicative of what it means to have a Women's Resource Center in our area and on our college. So with that being said, we have a question here from a student that says, I love going to the Women's Resource Center. The area was nice, comfortable, and allowed me to study well. I know that the campus is closed and I can't go to the center, but is the center hosting any kind of virtual events that I can attend? If so, where can I find these? Also, is there anyone that we can reach out to for traditional support or resources that would normally be available in person?
Absolutely. So the Women's Resource Center is fully committed to keeping our student population engaged and continue on with that sense of family and community, because at this time, let's face it, we all need it. So we are making several different opportunities for students to be engaged, to continue on with that. We're going to be hosting different events. So the best way to get in contact with me, which is Brittany.Lewis at Lone Star. You can also follow our Instagram page at LSC-NH_WRC for the most up-to-date and current information. I'm a very regular poster about what's going on. I like to keep everyone in the loop. I never want anyone to feel like they don't know what's going on. So there you can find the most up-to-date information. And if you have any questions about anything, you can always reach out to me, and I'm very good about responding to any and everyone who has a question.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Christina, we're going back to you, and I think you touched a little bit upon this, and I was even able to join the one you did this past Friday with A&M, which is actually really helpful and insightful. I love their degree plan and layouts. Those sheets looked awesome. The question is, I know that back when we were on campus, we had a ton of transfer fairs, and we could speak to representatives from other colleges. Now with COVID, I don't know how to do this. How can I still learn about other universities and colleges that I may be interested in transferring to?
So yes, thank you for that, Obi. As mentioned previously, the CAS Lab will continue to host virtual transfer info sessions in the coming weeks and months that will highlight specific universities for sure. We're also working to provide students virtual transfer fairs for the fall semester. We also have, again, another shout out to our CAS Lab YouTube channel at LSC-NH CAS Lab. We have many universities already highlighted on our YouTube channel by way of short videos, which provides students the names and contact information for specific university representatives. And of course, as always, the CAS Lab transfer advisors are always available to assist and answer student questions. Students can email us at nh-caslab@lonestar.edu to request transfer advising or assistance.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Ms. Christina. You maybe mentioned it already, but just so our students can catch it. Let's say that we have a student who's a North Harris student and wants to go ahead and attend a transfer session, a virtual transfer session, like such as the one we had for A&M last week. Do they need to email you? Is there a link where they normally go? Do they pre-register? How does that process work for them?
So great question. So the answer actually depends on the university that we're hosting for that week or what have you. So different universities have utilized different methods for kind of collaborating with us so that we could essentially co-host them for these transfer info sessions. So whatever the case may be, we end up communicating that information to our campus PR and communications department, whereby they send a campus-wide e-blast to students, relaying that information. If there's a specific link that they need to utilize to register for attending the info session, in some cases, it is a link that the university will provide to me. And so in those cases, we'll ask them to email us and we'll provide them the link. So again, it just depends on the university we're hosting at the time as to how they go about registering to attend the event. But again, we communicate that by campus-wide e-blasts through not only our social media, CAS Lab Instagram account, but also through North Harris social media platforms as well.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay, thank you. So it varies university by university. Ms. Kelsey, here's a student life question. In previous semesters, registered student organizations were required to attend or do certain things in order to be considered RSOs in good standing, such as attend SGA meetings, complete risk management training, etc. If we are still not on campus for the fall, will these requirements still be in place? And if so, do you know how they will be handled?
Yeah, so yes, there will still be requirements. We need to make sure, there's requirements set by the system that we have to follow for Lone Star College system. So yes, there will still be requirements. a lot of them will just move online. A lot of things are already online. Registration, starting a new club, everything is a form that's already online. And so we're actually working on a document, actually like a student life system wide document, because we know that some students may attend different campuses and may be involved in different organizations from different campuses. So we're trying to create a document that holds everyone at the same standard. So yes, registration will be required, risk management training, submitting rosters, these things that are core requirements will still be required. And it will affect clubs funding. We have to hold them accountable. And so to receive money and be a club, you have to register and be in good standing. So a lot of the processes that were required will stay required, and they're already online, which makes it really nice on our end. Clubs and advisors are already used to those processes. So, but if not, reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to explain, work with different clubs, advisors, students on where to find them, those sorts of things. They are all on our website as well. So yes, we're always open and, ready to receive questions as students have them. So.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, team, this is my last question for all of you. COVID has changed things, particularly the way that we interact with one another. As each of you have had to host virtual events or meetings, which have you held or been a part of that really stood out to you? What events do students seem to really enjoy or really become engaged in? Miss Brittany, I'll go ahead and start off with you on this one.
So due to COVID, the traditional way of meeting has definitely changed drastically. I find that the connection and sense of unity through many virtual events like WebEx and a lot of Instagram live posts have been very well received with the student community. I find more so the Instagram live posts have gained a lot more traction than the WebEx because it's a lot of more in the now, and you have a sense of connection to other people where you can in the moment speak to them and find out what they're going through and have that discussion and still have that kind of sense of connection and family with them. So I find that the Instagram live one is more so doing well with the student.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Miss Kelsey, how about you on your end?
Yeah, I think like Brittany said, our Instagram live events have been really successful. So if you're on Instagram, follow us because we'll do Instagram Pictionary. We do trivia. We do all sorts of just fun, random things, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and, you win some prizes from it. So all of our events have prizes. I think one of the successful things we did was in the spring, we hosted a student art contest where students submitted their art, and then we posted on our social media platforms, and there was voting and sorts of things. And just that student engagement, being able to showcase students, that is really, where we see the most impact and what we want to continue to do. So we actually have a pet photo contest coming up later this month. Shameless plug. So send in your pets and we'll post them and people will vote, and the winning pet owner will get a prize. So anything that just, encourages involvement, getting someone to be able to talk about, share their insight or share a piece of them and being able to connect with what other students are sharing, I think is really big.
Oh, awesome. Ms. Christina.
Yes, sir. So you made mention to one of our most engaged in events, which was just most recently a Texas A&M transfer information session. Some of the other university-specific information sessions have also been well attended because they were very thorough, detailed, very informative, and spoke to things that most students don't realize when they have to start planning that process, but all actually taking that leap towards applying for those schools. But of course, the social worker in me loves the opportunity to connect with our students through those CAS Lab convos. Although we haven't had a huge number of students attend the convos thus far, it's important to me to offer that opportunity to the students and provide them that platform. I know, as you mentioned earlier, I know I have personally struggled with this transition to remote working. And so I greatly miss that human connection with colleagues and our students. It can be very isolating at times, and I'm a huge proponent of mental health. And as such, I welcome everyone to join us for upcoming convos. We'll host a few more in July on Wednesday afternoons at 4. For those who are interested, again, it's as simple as sending us an email to nh-caslab@lonestar.edu. And once again, please check us out on Instagram, lscnh.caslab, where we post updates, event information, career and transfer tips, and so much more.